Carl and the guys from Last Bell were definitely tying one onto that for at least a week.
Yep.
So
and good for Eddie Hearn. I mean, quite frankly, he had a lot of really, really good things to say about Lee, as he should. And it's really good that Eddie's up on these. Well, they're not exactly up and coming boxers, but boxers that have serious talent, and they're putting it.
He's cherry picking, man. He's got the best promotion.
Wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. If I was Eddie Hearn, I'd be cherry picking all the time, everywhere. I'd just be walking around being like, right? Like, what are you gonna do? You can't do nothing, man. He's got the best promotion going. He's a matchmaker. Like, he's an awesome matchmaker, man. Every fight he puts together is exciting.
All right, we got Chris on the line. It's fantastic news. I can go back into the green room, have myself a beer while you're talking to Chris.
Yeah, man.
Make sure you ask him if he signed every boxer from Worksop. Like, is there any female boxer left?
We'll ask him right now.
There he is.
Chris, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Thanks for taking the time out. I know you had to lock down the gym there at 9. Yo, man, you've got this great stable of great fighters, great females. How'd you get into it?
What, boxing originally?
No, not boxing originally. Just working with females.
I don't know. I think it was by accident, really. We opened gym over a decade ago now, probably nearly 15 years now, but in Worksop. And eventually we got one, then we got another, then we got another, then we got another. And I think it's like anything, isn't it? I don't know what it is about this gym, but for some reason, girls just seem to achieve it, and they just seem to push. It's a strange thing. I don't know. Everybody asks me this question, and I haven't really got the answer. I'm being serious. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I think you get one, you get another, don't you? And then you get another. But obviously, sooner or later, the others drop off, and then you have to start again, which is kind of like where we are now, because the most experienced girls are Ellie, Nicola have all turned pro now. But then we've got another massive influx coming through, and we have another load of talented girls. It's funny because maybe about a year ago, it was me, Ellie, and Ole, and we were stood watching the academy group, which is the 11s to adults. And we were picking out girls who boxed for us as amateurs, and we were saying, that's like you when you were that age. That's like Alexa's like Nicola. Then you've got such and such, so it's like Ollie, and it's mirror images, honestly, at a minute. It's crazy.
I was just talking to Graham earlier before he jumped off and you jumped on.
Yeah.
We watched a couple of clips from some of the fights on the weekend. We saw the Nicola fight. Brilliant fight. And Holly Towl coming through with that first rounder, right?
Yeah.
What I did notice is that the women seem to let their hands fly pretty similar. Not leaving the exchange without making contact. When they're coming in hitting hard. They're all levels up and down. Make sure that they're hitting 4, 5, 6, 7 times every exchange. Is this something that you like train, or is it they just pick it up?
It's different. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of everything. But what I will say is they train the same. They're all in the same patterns. They do the same footwork drills. Everything's specific. Then in the ring work is specific to boxer. They're all different, Nicola's a volume puncher. Punches fast and punches in numbers. Ollie's a very, very slick, technical angle shot. She can do everything. And then you've got Ellie, obviously, who's 5'11.5".
Wow.
She's just jab up it, and that's all she really needs, really. Jab backhand. She's got great footwork as well. So they're all different. But what I said to him from start is, listen, boxing's simple. You either out punch or you out move. It's one or other. If you can do both, brilliant. But you've got to always, I said this to all of them, you've got to remember that if your feet aren't moving, then your hands need to be. And if your hands aren't moving, then your head needs to be. It's got to be one or other. So that's kind of how we work. But they spar a lot. So you'll always see little bits and pieces from what they pick up of each other in sparring. Do you see what I mean? And at times I have told them off a little bit between each of them and said, look, you don't box like Nicola, so don't spar like her. And I do tell them off at times because when they get in there, they kind of like fight the other person's fight, in sparring, because they know each other so well. They kind of like try and, I don't know, they try and match them at their game. And I know he said to me, you should never do that. Boxing's about making your fight work for you, and they shouldn't match to you. So it should never be that. And I tell them off, actually. So I can see what you're saying. They've all got a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
But they're very, very different, honestly. I mean, you watch the fights.
Yeah, I did. There's similarities, but then they do fight different. It's very true.
I agree. Yeah, totally.
Holly, what a very soft spoken individual. Very
lovely girl.
Very, I guess, shy. I guess talking about doing the sport, but she just loves to bang it out, eh? And she proved that on Saturday with that win.
Does. You know what though? I was saying to her, and I was saying to people, I said to Ollie loads of times, because she's been dynamite in sparring. She's been dynamite, in the gym. This last camp, because other camps, you know what I mean. Sometimes you don't hit a peak. Everybody tells you do, but you don't. But this camp specifically, I was hoping she didn't peak too early, because I kept saying this to her. I kept saying, we really need you for Brighton, but she was smashing people in sparring. Even doing massively really good with these lot in here as well. And I says to her, you're going to get an early KO on this fight. I can see it. You're just too sharp a minute. And sure enough, 24 seconds and that girl was done. I'm not saying that girl was, high level opposition, because she wasn't. We needed a warm up fight, because obviously Ollie's fighting for a world title, the next one, a youth title. So we didn't want anything crazy where she can get into a bit of a mingle and get caught. So we wanted something nice just to get her out under lights and we were crowd, because the girls, Ellie and Ollie, as professionals, have only boxed behind closed doors. So we needed that atmosphere before we hit the big stage at Brighton for the title again.
Right. So what kind of, how long would there, so say, as she's fighting for a title, how long of a camp would you run her through? How many weeks would the camp consist of?
It's not the normal camps. The normal camps are between 8 and 10 weeks, preferably, because they'll do a pre-camp and then they'll do a full camp. So they'll have days off. It's say they fight, normally. So they fought on Saturday. So normally now, other than Ellie, because I can never get her out of the gym, but this is a good thing. But I can never get her out. But Ollie has took a few days off with her mate. She's gone to coast for a couple of days, which is fair play. I asked her to do that. Nicola's been in the gym till today. She's worked today. And then now she's got a few days out. She's going to Wales for a couple of days with family and that. So normally after that, they come back in and then they won't be fighting for maybe, a good 8 weeks. But so normally, like I say, I'm going for a question a little bit, but normally a full camp, 12 weeks for titles, normal standard fight, 8 to 9, something like that. I don't like to do less than 7, really, if I'm being honest. I like to have a good few weeks.
What's your what's the favorite drill you like to run the ladies through?
Well, I mean, you know what? I'm a footwork preference trainer. I prefer footwork and I prefer angles. So a lot of the time, I'm mainly doing stuff on like, on footwork drills, and I'm getting them using lines and things like that, and on pads. That's probably my favourite thing, and it's what they really like. You know what I mean? I mean, everybody loves pads, don't they? Of course they do. You speak to any boxer, I love pads. You know what I mean? Everybody wants pads, but you can do pads for a basis, and you can do them for a reason, and we do them for a reason. I like to do them. I think if you ask any of them, I've never really done a training session the same. We repeat stuff, but I don't really do the same things over and over, if you get me. So angles, I love angles. I think if feet are right, you can land a better shot. If your feet are wrong, you can get caught after you've landed that shot. So I always like to put the footwork right before I do anything else. So I'll work on a shot. I'll tell them where to step. I'll show them why they do it. I'll tell them where to go after it and where to reset. So it's kind of like it's like a 3-stage thing, if you get me. So it's footwork, fire, reset. That's kind of basically how I work. So that kind of thing.
And it's working. It's working.
Yeah,
they're definitely scoring up some wins. Very impressive ones too.
Thank you.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm excited to watch them fight every time. They got fights coming up September, I believe, right?
Yeah, they're all back in action. They've been busy actually, because in lockdown they'll have had 4 fights. It's quite good actually. So Ellie obviously lost a tight decision at the weekend against Esther Kanika, But to be fair, we thought that could have been a draw. And if you watch it, I thought it was a fight of 2 halves, 3 rounds. We lost probably. I think the first round was fairly even. I think Esther won the second and third. And I think the third again was close. But I think we definitely won not the third. The fourth was close, but we definitely won fifth and sixth. But we lost by a split. But the last three rounds were giving us 10-10s, which were a bit strange for me because you never really see that. But the ref was scoring, which was unusual. But you don't really get 10-10s, one after another.
Yeah, no,
you don't, do you? I've never really seen it. You very rarely get one in a 12-round fight, if I'm honest. So to get 3 and the last 3 as being 10-10s, I thought we were unfortunate because I thought we definitely took them. So we definitely should have nicked a draw, if not a win. But we're happy because Esther Kanika, if I look at it, and I said this to her before, she's been in with Savannah Marshall, number 1 in world, who fought, I think, in a 6th fight. And then she's been in Anna Rankin, who's number 4 currently, and she's fought her twice, and she's gone distance twice with Anna, and tough fights for Anna. And look where Anna is. Do you know what I mean? She's up there with the epilogues, isn't she? So for us to take Ellie 6 rounds and lose closely on a real razor thin fight is good for us. So Ellie's back out September 4th, Brighton, big show, Sporting Area and Assassin Promotions, good show that, and that's for she's fighting for WIBA international middleweight title and the PBC international middleweight title. So a bit of a unification fight. So that's good for her, actually. So 2 fights. She's fighting a girl from Ghana who's decent, and another girl who's been in with Christina Amma as well. So that's another. You know what I mean? Another big step. But because that division's so light, there's not a lot we can do. We have to kind of like take what's given because middleweights, super middleweights, there's none. Do you know what I mean? It's so
it's very.
So, but we're happy because she's 19. She's only going to get better, and any fight she has now is experience. So we're all good, and I think she wins well the next fight anyway. She bosses that girl. She's got massive reach. We're already working on things, so I'm confident.
She's got massive reach, eh?
Massive reach. I mean, if you get to put her arms out, like wingspan like that, you won't believe it. It's something unusual. And again, going back to Saturday, the ring we was in was a 17-foot ring. You know what I mean? 16 inside the ropes. It were tiny, and we normally box in like 20, and it was just so small. Ellie took a step back and she was on ropes. When you watch it, you'll see. You know what I mean? It's more or less 1-step ropes, and that's not really.
She literally could like close half the ring with a step.
Good, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's good or bad. It's good if you've got a big ring, but it's bad if you've got a small ring. But we're back to a 20-foot on September 4th, so we're happy about that. We've been talking about that today. And then obviously Nicola's got a big fight, a good opponent as well in Christina Pacheco. She fought for a WBA title in her last fight, and it went the points. That's another big step up. That's Nicola's first ranked opponent, because obviously Garcia on Saturday were a good amateur, but it were a debut, so good fight. But this is a big step up for Nick against a ranked fighter, and that's the European title, WBL. So that's another good step up and another good belt. So Nick's obviously training hard for that. And then we've got Ole, the big one, who's fighting for the WIBA World Youth title at super featherweight. So we're really excited. 3 big belts on the line, and also we've got some boys as well. So flying, you know what I mean? The gym's flying, doing really well.
So you guys are really busy. You got how many members you got in the gym now? Like how many?
I've got in my gym professionally, I've got 3 girls and I've got 3 boys here. What are at Boyle's Pro Boxing, Xbox Boxing. But then I've got a couple of girls and another lad that I manage as well. So I've got another kid who's on Garfield Mushrow. He's a real talented kid, featherweight. He's boxing his debut on the Brighton show as well. He's one to watch. So when you tune into that show, watch that kid because he's slick. And then I've got a really good mate. Yeah, he's really good. He's tiny and all, but he's a real good fighter and he's really entertaining. You have to watch him for me to kind of describe him. And then I've got 2 girls at Middlesbrough. Like I say, one's making a debut and other one's had 1 fight, lost it, but not with me. That were with a different management team and stuff. So we're hoping to make a fresh start and get a good win. So yeah, so I've got 10 in total, 11 signed. So good. And
you both manage and train, right?
Yeah, I manage and train 6.
Yeah.
The other, I've got one who I kind of guide and manage. You know what I mean? So a little bit of training, a little bit of mainly managing, and then the others are just managed fighters. They've got their own trainers and that. So yeah, so busy in this year.
Do you miss the ring personally?
No, not at all. No, I don't, mate. Honestly, I tell him this as well. In 2013, I was sparring in this gym.
Yeah.
Two kids, a Croatian lad, and I think the other one was a Latvian kid. I can't remember anyway, but there were two foreign kids, one after another. And it was dinner time. And I ended up, like, came out, sometimes when you spar, you feel like a bit, I didn't drink in between spars, it was just one to another. And I felt a bit, not sick, but a bit headachy and that, but not unusual. So I went home for my dinner, and I remember driving home, and I got home, where does it were, and I didn't know how I got home. Do you know what I mean? But I thought maybe I'd just, you know what I mean, a little bit concussed, and I didn't think not about it. Told my missus and stuff. Had some lunch, went back to the gym, and that night, anyway, I did the gym session. Still didn't feel 100%, but I thought, just maybe tired or dehydrated. So I went home, had a shower and that, and I came out shower and I was sweating. You know what I mean? Really not like me. So I had something to eat normal. And it's a strange thing, mate, but honestly, I went upstairs, went to bed. And then next thing I know, I woke up and I've got, sat on the edge of my bed and I've got bloody paramedics sat around me. You know what I mean? I didn't know what had happened, seriously. And so honestly, said I must have collapsed or something, I had a blackout or something. But anyway, went to hospital, did all my bloods and that. I told them what I'd done during the day and stuff with sparring and everything else. And everything came back normal. So they said, we'll send you for an MRI scan and that. So I sent me for an MRI scan, and my MRI scan came back, and neurologist came and speak to me, and I said I had a bleed on my brain on the.
Oh shit.
Yeah, on the left side of my brain. So he said it weren't active. Obviously now it weren't active, but it reclotted. But obviously that's what had caused me to have them blackouts and that. And I kept for a bit. I didn't have any more, but then I had a few more and stuff. You know what I mean? Since not too recently or anything like that. So no, going back to because of the bleed on the brain. Going back to the original question, I don't miss the ring. No, not.
Yeah, that's wow. That's a crazy story. The bleed on the brain. I guess you wouldn't know. I guess nobody would really miss the ring after something like that, right?
No, not at all. But you know what though, a lot of people don't like sparring. I quite enjoy sparring, but I only do, and I do the same with these as well. With these, I do mainly body sparring. If they're not in camp, if they're not got fights coming up, it's a little bit of tech sparring, but I don't go crazy with it. And it's tech sparring, it's not open. And then if they're fighting, if they're training for a fight, then I only do open sparring twice every 10 days. I don't do it a lot because they don't need it. You can learn more from tech sparring than you can from open. And I think conditioning wise, body sparring is as good. So that's why I work it. And they're all happy with that. Do you know what I mean? They learn more that way. I think if you go in and just bang the hell out of each other, and I don't know, I never seem to learn out like that. And I don't think anybody else does. So I'm not a fan of too much open sparring. Plus, your brain's not meant to be punched, as I know. So
exactly.
It's not, though, is it? Let's be straight, mate. It's not, is it? It's got nothing. It's only got water protecting it. So they just do tech sparring a lot, and then a little bit of open, but controlled when we need it, because they save it for the fight. And if you speak to Nicola and all that, they prefer it because they're hungry. You know what I mean? When they get in, they're hungry. You know what I mean? They want to really put it on the line. So it kind of works for them, if you get me. So that's how I do it here.
Yeah, I know. When I was interviewing them both, they both were saying the same thing. It does keep them hungry. That the technical. It's a good strategy. Your team is just crushing it right now. The women that you have are they're making headway through their divisions. It's great. It's great. And honestly, I'm happy to see somebody like you doing this for women's boxing, man, because honestly, this is the year that women are putting themselves on the map. That's what I believe. Yeah. And, we've had such big things go on in women's boxing throughout this whole year and the pandemic and everything. Like, two division undisputed champion. That's a woman that achieved that goal, not a man.
Massive,
massive, right? And then to even think that 2012 was the first time women's boxing was in the Olympics, right?
It's nuts, isn't it? It's totally nuts, isn't it? I mean, if you read Jane Couch's book, it's an eye-opener, that. But I'd advise anybody to read that. What a book. And she started the process, didn't she?
Yeah. And, just to see that, there's women that are, paving the way now for these younger ones, right? Like, these girls are a great representative, of your gym, your team, and what women are doing for the sport, man. It's great. They're very good fighters, and they're well educated, and they know what they're doing. And honestly, man, it shows. Your team is great.
Isn't it crazy what we've both just said here a minute ago?
Yeah.
You can't believe it. 2012.
Yeah.
And that was the first time that female were allowed in the sport of Olympic boxing.
Yeah. And then back to back gold medals.
With Nicola Adams, who we took Ollie and Nicola to spar her for her last 2 camps.
Oh, really?
For her last 2 pro fights, we went up to Sheffield with Dominic England. That's a great guy, and John and everybody and Carl, and we sparred Nicola for her last 2 camps. And that was when these were both amateurs.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Amazing.
it's crazy. It's crazy how much women have really like made their mark on the sport. And honestly, with all these groundbreaking, all women cards that have happened over the last year, I must say some of these women cards are more exciting than the men.
1,000,000%. Everybody says that.
Yeah, and I believe it's just because they don't let the politics get in the way. They're just eager to fight and eager to just get out there and do it. That's what I believe.
You know what? That's what frustrates me, kind of probably like you as well about boxing is. Well, I know why should it be political? Do you know? I don't understand it because however anybody does it. I mean, obviously we're at British Irish Boxing for it, and there's British Boxing Board of Control in Britain. Right. There's 2 now. There's only ever 1, but now there's 2. I don't see the issue either way. I mean, I wish anybody good luck, whoever they go with. What's it really matter? But people take political sides, and do you know what I mean? And you've got to go that way, you can't go that way, and it's like you can go whichever way you want to. It's entirely up to you. It's just boxing at the end of the day. It's a sport that you're passionate about. You've all led in the same direction. You want world titles, they want world titles. Does it really matter? I don't. But people, it frustrates me, politics, because politics should never be part of sport anyway. But it definitely should not be part of boxing, because boxing's the toughest sport there is. It's already tough. You don't need other people making it tougher, do you? It's crazy.
It's really insane. I wanted to ask you about Biba. Can you run me through that? What it's all about?
I can run you through Biba. Biba started for me then. Nathan DeCastro, a good friend of mine, used to come to my gym. Nathan was with British Irish. Went to win 2 world titles with British Irish, well unbeaten. It was super middleweight. Look him up, Nathan the Nightmare DeCastro. But anyway, really good amateur. I've 100 amateur fights as well. He used to come to the gym, good friend, see us, and we used to come down here, do some training with some lads and that actually. And I got into the training side really with him, like cornering him with his dad, because his dad was his main corner. So I got involved that way. And then because I was impressed with how Nathan did it, and Nathan used to speak to me, I thought, you know what, I got speaking to Gianluca, who's the president, and other people on the board and that. And I thought, like, you know what, I'm going to give these guys a shot, because they were saying, that we're a new board, we want to make changes for boxing. We really want to push females. Obviously, I had a lot of females at the gym. We want to really do this and that for females. So I spoke to them. Spoke to Lee McAllister, who's my promoter. Obviously, Lee, he's won everything. He's won British, Commonwealth, European. He's won loads of world titles. Do you know what I mean? He's got a massive good record. Lee's the man. And if what he doesn't know about boxing, then nobody can tell him. So I spoke to him, and I hit him straight down the line. I says, look, I want to bring my girls through, but I want to bring them through the right place at the right time to get the right fights, and I want them to get the right opportunities. And I said, if you can't give it me, then I want you to be honest with me and tell me. And I said, same to Gianluca as well. And they both said, we talk honest, and we will do this, 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 and this. And then when we've done this, 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 and this, we will do this. And so far, we have done this, 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 and this. Yeah. And then what's coming next is this, and I know what's coming next, and I'm happy. So that's basically how Biba started. I could have easily gone down British Boxing Board of Control. I've got no problem with British Boxing Board of Control. Right. But they were the preference just because of what they were saying about the females, about how much they want to push the females, and how much they were refreshing, because they wanted to be a modern boxing board. They wanted to make different changes and make it equal. I mean, push equality. So I thought, you know what, I want some of that. I want to make that good. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to give it a shot. And I couldn't be happier. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't be happy with everything's been done right. My fighters have been looked after. We've been paid on time. We've been stepped up. We're getting the title fights. What more can I ask for? I'm happy.
Exactly. And when did you start this? How long has it been in effect now?
I think British Irish has been in effect since probably about 2015, something like that. I'm not too sure on the date of that.
Still pretty infant, right? Like it's still pretty new.
It's pretty infant. Before that, Gianluca used to run Malta Boxing Commission in Malta, and that was a standalone thing as well. But obviously now I think competition's healthy again. Going back to it, Well, we have, look in America, like, and even probably Canada, there's the IBF, there's your WBA, there's WBO, there's all these organisations, different state athletic commissions, isn't there, in every state? So there's not just one for America, is there? There's different states have got different ones.
Right.
So for me, I don't see what the problem is. It's like the FA, innit? In football, there's different leagues.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Again, people to make it political, but the way I see it is competition's healthy. And also, the pond's massive. Some fighters are going to do better down the British-Irish route because maybe there's less fighters there for them in their, in their level. So it's better for them. If they've got British Boxing Board of Control, that level might be too good for them. So they might fall back. Do you see what I mean? Everybody's got a choice. It doesn't matter, does it? Boxing's boxing. Like I go back to what I said before, people make it political and make it poisonous, and I don't understand that. It's just boxing. As way as I see it, boxing in it. It doesn't change. It's not spelled differently. Boxing.
It's a prize fighting sport. That's what it is. You're getting in there to fight. I don't like people that duck and dodge. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you can have the fight, have the fight. Champions need to fight champions. We got to stop worrying about money getting in the way. We just got to get the fights underway. There hasn't been a heavyweight, like an undisputed heavyweight champion since 2003.
Lennox Lewis. That's what I'm saying.
2003. And there hasn't been one yet in the 4-belt era because we just had the 4 belts introduced in 2004, and we still have yet to see, an undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. And it's all
are we actually getting any closer to that? Because we seem to be, but was we ever that close? I don't think we were.
I don't think we were that close. And if we were, it might have sparked a new oomph into the whole heavyweight division because it's starting to be lackluster. And these guys,
it's definitely faded, hasn't it? Because before there was obviously Joshua had most of the titles and Wilder, and everybody were pushing it. I never understand why that Wilder Joshua fight weren't made. Again, it's probably money and politics, which again should never be in boxing. Because look back to Muhammad Ali days, he fought everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? So did Larry Holmes and people like that. They fought everybody, didn't they? You know what I mean?
They fought everybody and anybody. They didn't care. They just got in the ring and did it and got it done. That's how it should be.
It is. I mean, it was so refreshing seeing Josh Taylor fight for that unification fight. That were, I'm against Ramirez. It's refreshing, isn't it? But you tend to get it in the lower divisions. But as soon as it gets near heavyweight, it's kind of like it's like going on 2 different oceans, isn't it? Swimming different ways. They never seem to cross. It's weird. I don't get it. Right.
And there's way too many interns. There's too many guys that are waiting for their mandatories. There's just all this stuff that's going on.
Super champions, isn't there? And regular champions.
Yeah, it's too much, man. We gotta simplify it more and just get these guys in the ring, and that's what it's
about.
Speak
to fighters. That's what they want to do, isn't it? But because now there's agents, there's promoters, there's mentors, there's advisors, isn't there? Who'd you go through? I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. I just keep it simple in here. I manage and train them. Leaves me promoter. That's how I keep it. I don't need anything else. It's tricky enough as it is, isn't it? That'll do for me. That
it's it's a rocky road at some point.
Massively. When it gets wrong, you need people around you who's been with you, don't you, from the start? You need trust and you need loyalty. And loyalty is royalty, innit? And I always say these same things. I say, morals over money. And I say values over valuations because too many people go opposite way, valuations over values, money over morals. Do you know what I mean? And it's wrong, isn't it? That's not how life is. You never should let money be a god because you'll never go to money, you'll go to God. So if you worship money, you're going nowhere, are you? Worship God, he'll look after you.
That's it. Great words.
I live my life by it, mate. I said that all the time to these, and they'll get sick of me saying it. But I said, no, I do honestly. They could quote me probably often.
Next time I talk to them, I'll get them to quote you.
They'll tell you. They'll definitely say it to you. 100%.
What are some of your short-term goals in the next say 6 months to a year? What do you look
Well, I mean, my short-term goal, my aim was to get Nicola European champion, which I'm going to definitely get to that. I can't see, Pacheco's a good fighter. He can never look past anybody, and she is good, and she's been in the top level, and we've not been at that level yet. So we'll see how fast we swim when we get into that water. But Nicola European, and then hopefully, more or less guaranteed, December 18th, an interim world title. I know we just spoke about we don't like it. We have to go down that route because with WIBA, which is the Women's International Boxing Authority, obviously a good one, the real best one for the women, I say, because it's the oldest one. They've got somebody already at championship level, at title level, so we've got to go interim first. But we're happy with that because let's not you know what I mean, jump too far ahead. Let's just do the interim, see how we are. Let's see how we are with the European first. If we do European, we find it tough, then maybe we'll hang back a little bit, and then we'll go interim a little bit further. But we'll see how we go. You know what I mean? So that's my next goal for that. Obviously, to get Ollie as the youngest world youth champion at 17 is a massive
That's
dream.
gonna be. That's
And I
gonna be.
promised this Ollie from 10-year-old. So you know what I mean. We've been together from day one. I promised I'd make her the youngest world ever, not heavyweight because she'd kill me if I say that. The youngest world champion at youth level. I'm going to do that when I get to 17, and then I want to try and make her the youngest, you know, female world champion if I can.
Honestly, I believe she definitely has the right trainer and the right team behind her, and she definitely has the tools for it, man. Just
Ollie, yeah,
watching her.
she's
She's so her ring IQ speaks numbers. Like her ring IQ is so much older than she is, and you can tell, man, when you watch her fight, the way she's plays those angles, and you love doing those drills, those angles, man. They work so well for her, and the way she can control.
It's beautiful to watch. It's like she's a rhythm. She's beautiful to watch, Ollie, boxing. And I remember saying to her a long time ago that sometimes you just got to wait and be patient because that best shot can be the one that you just don't throw then. Do you know what I mean? If you throw it literally split second after, then that's the best shot. But that split second is the time when that's the best shot not to throw it. And she gets it. She's Ollie. She's blonde by name and blonde by hair and blonde by sense. But when she gets in that boxing ring, she's a star. Seriously, she is. She's
like her last fight was super impressive. Super impressive. What a great finish.
Yeah.
I love the exchanges. That's my favorite. When watching the exchange and watching somebody, just not this 1-2 kind of thing. It's
no. She doesn't do that.
Flow like water, as many as you can, hit as many times as you can, leave the exchange throwing. That's Stay busy, fighters. I like it. I love watching it. These girls, I think they're gonna be.
It's like with Nicola that. Sorry to cut you off, but I have to say things when I remember because my memory goes bad. So I have to say things quickly when I do it on here because these always laugh at me. But my memory goes. I've lost it now. Oh no, I've remembered it. What I was going to say about Nicola, we're going on to Nicola now. Nicola's a bone winner and all, and if you throw 6 punches with Nicola will throw 7. Do you know what I mean? So again, going back to what you were saying about Ollie, Nicola's very much like that. You can never get in front with her because she'll always try and out-punch you. You know what I mean? And if you watch that Garcia fight, wow, them exchanges in that fight were crazy. How that girl stood up, but landed back as well, and we've been working on the different things this week to stop that. But how she stood on some of them shots were amazing, wasn't it? What a fight!
And Nicola's got a chin too, man. She's got a really good chin on her, man. Like
proper chin, honestly.
Yeah, like you couldn't ask for more of a like you couldn't ask for any more. She's got a great chin. She can take it, and she doesn't get flustered. When she takes that hit and it checks her, it's almost like she turns into this like veteran mode.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I mean, she's got that, and the good thing about Nick is she's a very bright girl out the ring. She's got a good job. You know what I mean? She's level-headed. She's nearly 30, so not like me for saying that, but she's 30 actually on the 5th of September, which is the day after the European title fight. So let's hope we get her that good birthday present. But
that'll be nice. That'll be a nice birthday present.
Really nice, yeah. So because of that, I think because she's a little bit older than obviously the girls and that, Ollie and Ella. You know what I mean? She's more mature that way. So if she gets it, she doesn't get angry. You know what I mean? She just waits and bides a time where when you're young, if you get it, we know, like we'll probably do me and you, that if you get it, you whip back and kind of like the worst thing you should do. But Nicola's kind of like not that. She's calculated, you know what I mean?
She's very calculated. Very methodical with where she's throwing her shots, what she's doing. She plays chess. She plays chess, not checkers. And that's what it shows.
I like that. That's a good way of putting it with Nicola.
Yeah, she definitely plays chess 100% in that ring. You can see it, the calmness, the way she collects herself and just she can focus while being under attack, which is great. It takes a lot to be able to learn that kind of stuff, to be able to keep your focus when being bombarded by punch after punch after punch. And she does well, and when she throws, she hits. She hits heavy too.
She's heavy-handed for a flyweight.
Yeah, man, she's very heavy-handed. I was watching her fight from the weekend, and oh man, she literally she hit that girl with like this left, and it just shot her back into the ropes.
I remember that shot. It's mad, isn't it? I remember, going back to that fight, it was funny because we didn't know what we were getting. We knew we were getting a good level fighter because she had a good amateur career and that. But we didn't know what the amateur career were like in Spain, compared to us. Is it different? Is it the same? We fought some Spanish girls, amateurs, and they've been good, but you never really know, do you, first pro fight? But Nicola, I remember very, very early in that first round, she caught with a lovely, precise, clean right hand Nicola caught Yvette with. Yeah. And she just rode it. And when she came back to the corner, first thing I said to Nicola, I said, right, listen, settle down. Don't try and go for finish with this girl because she's not going anywhere. I go, you caught her early, you caught her hard. She didn't blink. I go, she's going to be there till end. And literally, she was there till 4 seconds till end. And we stopped 4 seconds to go. And she was stopped on her feet at that. So
yeah, true.
Never went down once, never got counted, never got counted other than the last bit. She weren't going anywhere, you know what I mean? So that was really good for Nicola because she had 3 blowouts in 3 fights. And then we needed the rounds for this because she's fighting 10 rounds for that European title. So we definitely needed 6.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Definitely you need to get some distance there underneath.
You can do 20 rounds in sparring. It's never the same as fighting. You can do it. It doesn't make no difference. It feels easy because you're at home in your gym. It's comfortable. But when you've got 1 million people, or not 1 million, we wish we did, but 1,000 people shouting ringside and your parents watching and your friends and family.
Yeah, everybody and anybody that know you are watching. It's a lot different. It's a lot different.
Everybody's shouting jab. Everybody's shouting more punches. Everybody's shouting it's a. You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it?
You could hear the first 3 rows and not your coach.
True. Still here because I was into a bloody sore throat day after I've got one now.
Well, Chris, you know what? It's been a slice talking to you. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. I know you got to get home and do your thing.
Can I just before I go? Can I just?
Yeah, for sure.
Can I just pay tribute? I want to pay tribute. I want to pay tribute to the girls, you see, because honestly, they've all been here from scratch. I don't like to take fighters on who I've not really had from day one because I don't really know them. I don't really have that same click. You know what I mean? So they've all been here from day one, not laced a glove. Come here and they've worked tirelessly to get where they are. Now they're inspiring the next generation. You know what I mean? And I want to pay tribute to them because they're amazing, all 3 of them. They really are.
Definitely.
I love them to bits. They're all good girls. I mean, Nicola lives literally across the road from me. You know what I mean? So if she's not training, I can probably see if she's not training, Nicola. But she's always training, so ain't got to worry about that. Right. So I want to pay tribute to them. And especially, like Ellie and all of my apprentices now. I've got them as apprenticeships in gym as like apprentice coaches to keep them, get them a bit of a pay and then also learn them about coaching because it teaches them a different aspect of fighting. So they're great girls. And, people have helped us, like Lee McAllister's helped me massively. I go back to Brendan Ingle and Dominic Ingle, people like that have helped me massively. Ishan Pickering helped me massively. People like Carl Greaves, who are good people in the UK. Sport and Aaron, who've jumped on board with us now.
Yes.
Are really, really helping us. Do you know what I mean? I love that guy. I love all that team. They're so good. Do you know what I mean? And all that connection. I need to pay tribute to him because honestly,
he's helped me out too. I've reached out to him. And he put me in touch with you. Put me in touch with the great fighters that you have in your camp and part of your team, and and he's put me on to a bunch of other talented women, and it's great. It's great to see that these talent pools are a lot deeper than I thought they were. They're starting to really they're getting deeper, and it's more competition, and we're getting to see newer competition. It's great. Women's boxing is doing wonders right now.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, isn't it? I mean, I love boxing. I'm so passionate about it. I could talk it for hours, and I talk these lots of heads off with it. I mean, Ellie's probably getting as intellectual as me about it now because I talk to Ellie all the time about it because she loves boxing as well. And just one thing on Ellie, Ollie always had a little bit of. She had good technique. She was a kickboxer, you know what I mean? So she had some kind of some basis. Nicola were always fit, you know what I mean? Fit and driven. Whereas Ellie, she was shy, you know what I mean? Withdrawn when she came to gym, no natural talent, you know what I mean? No raw ability, nothing. And look where they've gone, you know what I mean? So the prize assets aren't there. But just going back to boxing and passion, like when I sometimes on Twitter, I don't really like Twitter, I don't really go on it, but you get tagged and everything, don't you? So you go on it. just to read the notifications. And sometimes it kind of deflates you. I mean, it deflated me a little bit this week about, people, trying to direct your fighters different routes and all this kind of rubbish. And it frustrates me because I just think, why not just like praise them for what they're doing and praise them about the fights at the weekend they've won and they're going on to next world, they're going on to European titles or world titles or whatever. Why not just praise them? It's crazy, isn't it, that people would rather say bad things and talk about bad things, but you can raise one good thing and nobody will talk about it. It's mental, isn't it? So I've been putting an hashtag on everything this week, and I've been putting hashtag keep the poison in the bottle, because I think people, it's true though, isn't it, mate? People throw that poison on the keyboards. Throw some poison out. Yeah, let's get a bit more poison on that. Keep sending it. But they don't care who it's hurting. You know what I mean? Somebody could be at home on the last legs, really like feeling low, and then they spill that little bit of poison, and then they go and flaming, could end their life. You know what I mean?
It's upsetting. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. You know what? I believe this year and next year are going to be the years where we take women out of boxing. You know what I mean? Like the word women. It's just gonna be boxing. It's gonna be boxing. It's not gonna be referred to as women's boxing anymore. It's now the new norm. And and these girls aren't afraid. And when you got fighters out there, like for instance the Shannon Courtney and Ebony Bridges fight. Great fight. Two warriors in a ring. No holds barred, bleeding from the beginning of the fight. A hematoma over the eye.
Even look at last year, mate. Look at Pursoon versus Taylor twice.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute wars against, and let's be straight. Low battery modes come up. Let's be straight. Katie Taylor's like, an unbelievable talent, and Pursoon was just tough, gritty, and strong. Yeah. But then look at that. Then you look at Tasha Jonas, Terry Harper. What a fight! I mean, I felt so sorry for. It was a great fight, close, but I thought Tasha Jonas won that. But it was close. I mean, that definitely should be a rematch at some point. But what a fight for both girls, Terry Harper and Tasha Jonas. Great fight, both British. And then obviously Tasha Jonas and Katie Taylor again.
Yeah.
What fights were having? They were all like fights at year.
Yeah, they were. And you know what? And I'm happy that it's done it. I'm happy that it's done it.
Let me just say one thing though. Me and you have just spoke about battles between girls, haven't we?
Yeah.
But let's look at the other side of that then. Before we go, let's look at Savannah Marshall. Doesn't go on Instagram much. Doesn't go on Twitter much. Doesn't say anything. Right. But she does a box in the ring, and what a beautiful boxer she is, and what a role model she is. Do you know what I mean? Number one in the world, unbeaten. I can't see anybody beating her. Peter Fiore, her trainer, mentor, guide. Yeah. What a guy. Keeps himself to himself. Keeps it real. Another great bloke. Behind a great bloke is a great fight, and they then two are perfect. And then look at that side of the pond where you are. Bruce Shields again, fantastic. Yeah, it's never looks like getting beat, do they? But let's make that fight. Let's make Shields versus Marshall.
Yeah, it should happen. I think it should. I think it should happen. It should happen. It's definitely
a great fight.
I think that's the fight where women, the whole word woman would just stop being mentioned.
Of course it would.
Right there, because that's two great champions.
It is, yeah. And what a fight it'll be. I mean, they could do that 3 times and it'd be close. It'd be close all the time because clash of styles, isn't it? You've got your box fighter in Shields, who's a box fighter, and then you've got your tricky, tall, ranger, clever Marshall.
Yeah,
it's so tight to pick that. I mean, you speak to one person, you get 2 different answers. It's a great fight that. And yet they're talking about Crusher Shields fighting MMA again and stuff like that. And
that's
strange for me that. I mean, I'll watch it. I'm always interested in any fighting, but let's have boxers boxing, innit? Really. Let's do it that way. When they retire, it's different, innit? Because they can have them fights, you know what I mean? And people tune in, like KSI and, you've got Mayweather versus Logan Paul or Jake Paul, everywhere. I don't know which one it is, but, that's interesting because he's retired, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when you've got 2 fighters with Shields and Marshall at the peak, let's see them do it, innit? You know what I mean? A bit like Brooke Carmer waiting for that.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting for that one to happen for a long time.
I have.
Shields and Marshall, there's Shields after she won her last undisputed. She went on record, saying that she just wasn't being offered the money. The money wasn't there. And what I don't understand is
why is it money?
Just get in there and fight first of all, and then the money will come.
Exactly. I mean, I know it's a prize fight, and I know it's a tougher sport, and you've got to get the most money when you're in there. But when you've made it like Mayweather fought everybody, didn't it? And
Yeah.
I know he made money because he fought everybody, but surely you want your legacy means more than your money. You're not going to get buried with your money. How are you going to get buried
No,
with your
exactly.
legacy? What lives on in it? But I just wish Brook and Khan had fight. I mean, I still watch that fight now. I still think it's a good fight now because let's be honest, they're still at the same point, aren't they?
Yeah.
So it's a good fight still. I hope
Yeah.
they make that
No,
fight.
definitely. I hope we see that. I think that has to go down. That has to go down before either one of these retire.
Crawford, doesn't it? And that's Spence and Crawford seems to be going like that.
Yeah.
It was like that, but now it's going like that.
Yeah.
Where's that going? Another one.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Joshua Fury is probably going like that.
Oh yeah, no, and you know what? Here's the thing: we were about to see an undisputed champion. We were just talking about the heavyweights not having it. Now, is Joshua going to hold any one of those belts the next time they get to see each other?
I don't know because Usyk's a good fight,
right? Is Tyson Fury going to be holding the belt when he fights Boyle? Who knows?
That's another flick and coin. I mean, because let's be honest, if he catches him, you don't know what's going to happen. I know it's easier said than done catching Fury, but it happened the first time. I know he weren't fully fit and all. You know, there's angles to everything, but it is boxing, and heavyweight boxing is different to any of the weights. You know what I mean? Because of punch power and punch resistance. I just think it's a shame that because everybody would have loved America, Russia, China, UK, everybody wanted to see Joshua Fury, didn't they? Yeah. Everybody wanted to see it. And I talked to people in the gym, when that was being billed, we'd talk to somebody. It was a very good conversation here because you talk to somebody, I'm Fury, I'm Joshua on that. And then you get them to break it down. Hey, why do you think Joshua? And then somebody else said Fury all day. Oh, yeah, why is that then, mate? And then they tell, and it was a right good conversation. Yeah. And it could go either way because Joshua can land and drop Fury and put him out. He's a bigger puncher, I think. Yeah. But Fury's obviously very technical. But then Joshua's been schooled right as well, and he's only getting better. I think Joshua. That's the thing. So I don't know. It's such a good fight, but it just seems so far away again, doesn't it?
It seems two worlds apart right now. Yeah. It was this close. It was this close, and then Wilder used that whole.
Fair play to Wilder. It was there to use, wasn't it? So
yeah, it was. It was in the contract. He had every right to enforce that, and he did.
It's only like Joshua Ruiz, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
As a rematch clause, and probably Ruiz didn't want it that early, did he? Because he was still enjoying himself in Mexico.
Yeah.
Fair play to the guy, because so he should, but he came back into that fight not fully fit and not really hungry, didn't he? So
yeah,
they should have another fight, really. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Joshua Ruiz 3 before we see.
Hey, that'd be another good fight.
I think so. Yeah, I think so as well.
All right, Chris. I'm not going to keep you too much longer. Thank you again, man. What a great chat. Feel free to come back anytime. I love talking boxing.
We'll come back after the title fights. Maybe we could do a joint podcast with the 3 girls with the 3 titles. Let's hope they get all 3.
Hey, I'm totally down for that. We'll email back and forth, and we'll definitely work on that. And we'll get that all set up. Fight fans watching, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Knuckle Up at 4 with Mike Orr. And today's special guest, Chris Boyle of Xbox Boxing Academy. Thank you again for taking out the time of your busy schedule and joining us. We'll be in touch. We'll definitely have you on in the future with the girls after the championships. And yeah, man.
I've enjoyed it, mate. So take care over there, mate, and stay in touch, buddy.
Yes, for sure. For sure I will. I'll stay in touch. I'll email you from time to time. And definitely. Any new prospects you want me to look at and talk to, I'm definitely down for that. Bring them my way, and we'll definitely get them on the show and get them out there.
You take care.
Yes. All right, guys. Take it easy.